Hi guys, Jack Spirko here from GenForward. Figured I would take a minute here and go over some of the questions that have been asked since we launched our Indiegogo campaign officially just a couple days ago. First thing I want to do is I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's contributed so far. We set a $25,000 goal, and so far we've raised $7,755. I don't know if people really want to be called out by name, so I'm not going to do that initially. I do want to say there are 4 members out there who kicked in $1,000 a piece, and that's huge. It's a big part of what we've raised so far, and when we put a contribution level like that on there, we weren't sure that anybody would do it. Have 4 people do it in the first few days is huge, and you've helped us start to trend on Indie from that alone, and thank you from that. We've had 2 people do $500, 1 do $250, and 10 people come in at $100 level, 13 at $50, 23 at the $25 level, and 5 at $5. And everybody, thank you, including the guys that did $5. What we're giving you for $5 is a hearty thank you. Well, here's your hearty thank you. You'll probably get a few more before the campaign ends. So first of all, thanks for getting us off to a great start. If you have questions for me, a lot of you know who I am outside of Indiegogo, so maybe you've been emailing me or something, and I'll try to answer all your questions that I've gotten so far about the campaign. But the best thing to do would be comment right on Indiegogo. We go in those comments every day and look at them. A lot of them are private, so we're not answering them in text, but I'll answer all the questions that I have by video throughout the campaign as we continue to update you on our progress. And thank you for your support. So a question I have right now is, one, there's a guy named Lance, and it says that you would want to focus, put us on technology crowdfunding spotlight on your blog, and you gave me a link. The link that you gave me, dude, is to a Google Drive link. I don't know if you're out there. I don't know if you'll see this, but if you do, we'd be happy to work with you to be featured on your blog. But a Google Drive link does not your blog go to, and I don't know what your blog's name is. Another person asked a question here: will pictures be supported on GenForward? Pictures are something we'll do right away. Whether it will be there in the initial beta of the beta, the very first, when you set up, you can post pictures to it. I'm not sure, but that's something that we have on the development timeline pretty quick. Kind of in the same note, another person here says, first, I think this fills a need. That is great. I think the mission is very articulate and clear. I have 2 suggestions. Number 1, support vlogging. Messages from the past to me are more compelling in video form. Definitely video is something we're going to do. It will not be part of the first generation of the platform. We have to walk before we can crawl. We want to do that. We do think it's going to be good for some people. Some people are very comfortable on video. They like to do it. I like to do it. I've got lighting set up here so I can do video for you guys and all. I in my other worlds, I do video and audio stuff every day. Some people are just not that type of person. So we want to provide both avenues for people, continuing from the same person. But don't become a data storehouse for videos. Use YouTube, etc. for that. But you can master metadata in increasingly sophisticated ways. Add keywords, leverage YouTube's transcript technology, make the entire video full text searchable, advanced, if you want to talk to me. We'll try to get in touch with you. Your name's Keith. I don't see your last name on the video here, but I don't really have a way to get in touch with you. I don't know who you are. I'd like to know more. I like that idea because YouTube has things like the transcription already built into it. On the other hand, I feel that one of the things that we've done that nobody else has done is we have made a commitment to your privacy. And so I think that what we'd want to do long term for our people that use GenForward is to offer them both options. If you want to use a public video format with a private feature on it and then attach that to your platform, that's pretty easy. We could do that pretty quick. But if you want to host your video with us, we probably will come up with like a certain amount that you can do that with if you want to, and then beyond that you'd have to buy some space on our server banks so that we would be able to provide enough space. It is easier for us, though, than it would be for a lot of video providers, because if you're doing video for your family, the amount of draw or bandwidth across the network is going to be much less than, let's say, when you put a popular video on YouTube and millions of people are looking at it. So we're talking about more of a data storage restriction limit than a bandwidth limit, because we're not going to be a data warehouse like the commenter is saying here. But I'd very much like to talk to you about how we can do some things with you, and if you can help us. The next question, I'm going to go back a little bit here. Work with me, guys. Because the one question led to another, and the way Indy does comments, if anybody from Indy's out there, it'd be great if you guys on your comments would put where I could reply to the comment, and other people could reply to the comments instead of one giant string. That technology's on WordPress, guys. It's not hard. Anyway, someone asked, how will separate family units network? For example, if my parents and my brother and his family, I understand this would be 3 accounts. Would each account need to give read permission to the other? Would this allow my son to ask a question for grandma to answer? And would it only be shared with will also be shared with my brother's family? You can share it with anybody you want. So you don't even have to have a familiar relationship to be able to accept somebody if you want them to be able to read your data. You decide who your family is, not us. The only restriction we place is on paid accounts being within the nuclear family, a father, a mother, and children. That's it. And and basically it's 2 spouses and a child. We're not going to get political on any of that kind of determination either. But if you say you've got a household unit, you got a household unit. When children hit 18, if they want to journal themselves, and we'd love 18, 19-year-old kids to journal, but we don't see them as being our main journalers. Usually as you get a little older, this stuff becomes a little bit more important to you, but they can still read anything you want. So the other thing we're looking at is making sure that we create kind of like an inheritance feature into the platform, so that 2-3 generations down the line, all that data is still accessible. Those will just be linked through a genealogy type format, so that will be available long term, no problem. And so someone adding on to that question, I'm jumping around a bit here, and I apologize if I seem a little disjointed, but it basically says, would my great grandson have to be confirmed by me since I'm already gone? Once they're in their mutual line, they would be able to have access to it. Yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking. But basically, an heir would inherit the prior generation's account from a standpoint of making connections to people. But the system will be sophisticated enough as we build it that if I'm your father and I'm linked to your grandfather, and he's linked to your great-grandfather, once you're linked to me, you'd have visibility all the way back through the line. That's the whole point. So we have, in effect, planned for that in advance. Another person says, and there's several different versions of this, would this be available in a book to be given as a gift? So something you could print out. When I originally came up with the idea back in 1998 for GenForward.com, that was my original plan. It was actually much smaller in mindset at the time, that you would do all this journaling and it would produce a book. And so we still want to be able to do that. Now, exactly how that's going to work is something we'll figure out as we build the platform and as we develop the platform. And as I've said before, how fast we can go, how much we can develop is a direct reflection on how much interest and participation by paying members there is. We are crowdfunded, and once the crowdfunding's over, we're going to be revenue funded by customers that are happy with what we do. So we're not a Facebook where just like a bunch of people jump on and we can make some kind of corporate connection to make income. We are member funded, and we deliver service to members. So the more members we have that are paying more members, the faster we can develop. But what I envision is having the ability for members to go through all of their journaling and arrange it with some sort of an Ajax format where they can just drag and drop things and set things in an order they want, and be able to basically produce endless books, whether electronic format or to use a printing service to print them off. I can envision long term that we would probably actually set up some kind of an offline printing relationship with a printer, where you could, once you had everything the way you wanted, just through your account, order X number of copies. There's all types of print-on-demand technology out there like right now. When I think of just books in general, people like CreateSpace and Lulu.com come to mind, where authors are producing their own books on demand publishing. There's no reason we can't do that eventually. Will people? Another question, kind of in that line, is will there be allowances for people to take their data offline? Again, yes. You just not sure exactly how that works. We may be able to simply let people, by generation 2 or 3 of the platform, have basically all of their data on their hard drive and have syncs between the two. So that if somebody, for instance, was at a place that they can't get an internet connection, they could still journal and then sync later, kind of like Dropbox works or something like that. But I don't want to overcommit to how quickly we could develop things like that. But that's the mindset that we're operating from, and how we're trying to work here is to give you maximum flexibility. It's your data, not ours. We're just providing a platform for you guys to interact with on it. Next one says, this is from Pat, and Patrick says, if you sign up for 3 years, once your subscription runs out, if you choose not to renew, what happens to your information? Does it simply stay there and you can no longer add content to it? And that would be exactly what would happen. So if a member decides for whatever reason, I'm not going to be journaling for a while, and they stop paying, we're not going to delete their account. Absolutely not. They're just not going to be able to add more information to it. We would hope at the price point that we're sitting at, $5 a month, $50 a year, less than a Netflix subscription, that most people would continue to do business with us. That's why we're in business, to provide a service, and we need a certain customer base. In other words, to stay in business. With any company that you like, the best way to make sure that they're around tomorrow is to do business with them. So we'd hope you do the same. But we're creating legacies here. So we're not about saying, okay, we have an extortion fee on your data. It's our intention to keep data available for multiple generations, for as long as possible. I can't commit to what the company will do 20 years from now when there's 1 million users or 2 million users or hopefully 100 million users, and an account has had absolutely no activity for 5 years. Not only has no one added to it, but no one's looked at it. There comes a time with data storage where if you need space, you have to get it from somewhere. And if you're not growing, how do you manage that? I don't know how we would manage that. My hope, though, would be that once a user's data is put up onto GenForward, that it's exactly what we promised. It's a legacy forever. And as long as we're successful, we can make that happen. And that's our goal, is that the community will come along with us and help us be successful for generations to come. We remain committed to our Forces for Good campaign, and I have some questions on that too. So one of the questions was, so if I'm on this advisory council, do I get a vote? And that's not really how the advisory council works. And if you look at our different pledge levels, if you want to call them that, you will see that once you are over a certain threshold, you are able to participate on our advisory council. And the way that works is just the way we've described it in the perks. And that is that you'll be given access to a forum. It'll be a forum board or an email list. We're not sure how we'll do it yet. But only people that are in that council will be on that list. And whenever we have a item of discussion from our board of ownership and board of directors, like, okay, right now we're trying to decide which charity to support with our Forces for Good campaign, with a piece of profits. And there's only so much. Do we give it all to A? Do we give it all to B? Or do we split it between A and B? And here's our reasoning behind that. We would come to you guys and say, well, what do you think? What do you guys think? And we would take your opinion into consideration before the board makes its final vote. The other thing that we would do is, if we were trying to decide, like, whenever you're in a technology company, you have users that want you to do this and they want you to do that, and it'd be great if it did this. And in the end, you sit down and you go, okay, here's like 10 key features that we agree should be developed. And over the next year, we have the resources, the knowledge, the revenue, and the teamwork to develop 4 or 5 of them. Which 4 or 5 do we develop? Which are the ones that we go out first? And we would want to know what the entire community thinks. We'd want to take that data and we want to put that in front of our advisors that have stepped up early on and contributed heavily to getting the company off the ground, and say, hey, you guys believe in what we were doing when we started, so what do you think we should do next? And we would take that into consideration. That doesn't mean that we are obligated if let's say we end up with a council of 20 people and there's a vote that's 12 to 8, and 12 for a certain thing. It doesn't mean we have to do that thing, but we're certainly going to take that into consideration. We're really more interested from our council of advisors, less in a vote and more in your opinion. Because a lot of times you think you know what to do, and everybody thinks they know what to do, and one person out of their group pops up and says, have you considered? And that changes, and everybody in the group goes, wow, I would have never thought of that. This is the power of group thinking. So that's really more how the advisory councils work. People have asked about our launch party. When will it be? We think sometime in March. And the product will be launched before the party. So it won't be a launch party like we're all going to get there and push a button together, 50 hands on top of each other pushing a button, the site goes live, something like that. It'll be to celebrate the official launch of GenForward. Where will it be? Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're coming, what would you expect? We don't know exactly yet. It'll depend on how many people are coming and how successful the Indiegogo campaign is. I would like to update you on this. Our goal is 25,000. That lets us get way into the development timeline of the things that we have planned. But where we're at right now, we have enough to pay the individual that did the video work for the pitch video for us, and it was a fabulous job that he did for us, and to develop the beta. We're there. This is going to happen now, and I'm internally grateful to all of you guys. But we can do so much more if we hit our goal. We really can, or even get beyond our goal. All of these little features and ideas that people have that they'd like to see happen, yeah. Another thing was on some of the descriptions, there's like things that are in the prior one are not in the next one. So if you look at our $5,000 lifetime membership plus program, we talk about the Forces for Good campaign and the campaign of advice. We don't mention the forum. Yeah, the forum's there too. Indiegogo is restrictive at how many characters they let you put in each perk. So as we added more and more stuff, we had to get more and more abbreviated with what's available out there. And last with this, I think I've answered all the questions that have come so far. Again, please keep coming. On those that have my personal email, you can email me. But the best way is on Indiegogo.com. I'd like to, again, thank you guys, but also to tell you how you guys can help us from here. Those of you that have already backed us, tell other people about what we're doing. This is something so universal. Pick up the phone. Tell your brother, hey, you should get on here, sign up for an account early, and start journaling for your kids. Tell your parents, hey, I'd like you guys to do this for me. Let anybody and everybody you can find know about what we're doing now. We asked during the pre-launch, as we were giving away little bits of information, to keep it kind of quiet. We didn't really want the concept coming out until we were officially launched with the campaign. Our concern was that somebody like an Ancestry would go, we should have done that, and then kind of beat us to the punch. If they do it now, well, it's clear what's going on, and if they want to step on the little guy, Karma will get you there, I think, and we're ready to just roll. So let anybody and everybody know about this. If you know anybody in media that would like to interview myself or Neil or our developer Bobby or anybody else involved with the project, we would love to participate in interviews and let people know about it. If there's any podcasts out there that are family-oriented and things like that this would be a good fit for, let them or let us know about them, and we'll get in touch and try to get on there. We really want to spread the word. One more question popped up. So I had somebody that said basically, well, I already contributed X, and you're running for 60 days. So if I contributed more and got up to a next level, would you honor the commitment, like the number of years, the number of giveaway accounts, and things like that? And the answer is absolutely yes, we would. And you can do that in a really kind of cool, simple way. When you go to you click on a perk, and let's say, let's say you had done 100 and you wanted to get up to the $250 level. You can click on any of the perks and it'll take you to the page to donate, and it'll fill in with whatever you're going to do. But then there's this additional gift, and there's the one that says custom, and you could set that to anything you want. So if you wanted to give an additional $150, you could do 100 and just add 50 or what have you. It's infinite. And yeah, absolutely. If you contribute through our Indiegogo campaign, multiple contributions, and the total takes you up to a certain level, we don't see there being hundreds of those or anything, so it'd be pretty easy for us to work out that you've done that and work it out with you individually and make sure you get your higher level of perks. So we would definitely be willing to do that. Again, thank you to everybody who's helped us get so far so fast with this. It's pretty amazing to me that people believe in what we're doing that much that we've already raised almost $8,000 in 2.5 days. A very heartfelt thank you. I've stated this on my podcast, but GenForward is a dream come true for me. It's something I've always believed in. It's something that I know we can do amazing things with. I know that we can help families repair rifts. I know we can help kids figure out who they are and where they came from. I know we can build a better tomorrow by understanding our past and by recording our present for future generations. Thank you for helping me take this dream and turning it into a reality. I really appreciate all of you.